I also liked too that this kind of tied in the Christmas special.
Yeah.
With the fact that Mantis is still saying that she is like Peter Quill's sister, because obviously we learned in the Christmas special that she is Ego's daughter.
Yep.
So I thought that was cool. That literally everything's tying in full circle, like we talked about in the beginning.
James Gunn just knows how to write a little world.
He really does.
The very start to when I was crying was seeing Drax and Mantis like seeing each other. It was the beautiful thing. I can get into so much. Yondu. I mean, but the beautiful thing was every single character had a conclusion.
Yeah.
Every single one of them had a very specific moment where it was like they all got a happy ending. I was just like, I can't handle this. Like, it's crazy.
So now we're basically getting into the end of it. The end is where the original Guardians are all standing around in a circle, basically saying, this is it. Obviously, Rocket's devastated because, like, guys, like, this can't be it. We can't break up. Like,
He's like, this is his family.
Yeah.
Outside of Teef's, Floor, and Lila, it's his family.
And basically, Star-Lord says, my grandpa could still be alive. I'm going to go to Earth. I'm going to try to find him. Which that's coming from Mantis, because throughout the movie, she's basically saying, how could you have never gone back?
Yeah.
Right.
How could you have just left a relative there? Like, you always say you don't have family, but you do.
Mm-hmm. And she brings up the point that's like, hey, not only did you lose your mom, but your grandpa lost his daughter and you. He doesn't know what happened to you.
Yeah.
He lost two people.
Right. Basically, Nebula is saying that she needs to just find herself. Or Nebula and Mantis both say they need to find herself.
Yeah.
Mantis basically says, I worked for Ego, then I worked with the Guardians of the Galaxy. I just need to figure out who I am.
She said she wanted to do something on her own.
Yeah. Nebula was obviously going to stay with the people of Nowhere. And what she was going to help with, she was going to rebuild and help with the kids, right?
And have Drax there.
Yeah, because basically, there's a bunch of children just in the High Evolutionary ship that they saved at the end. Drax was going to help Nebula because this line made me cry too. Was it Nebula or Mantis who said it?
The dad?
Yeah.
That was Nebula.
Yeah.
She said something about how, I forget the line word for word,
You weren't made to be a destroyer. You were made to be a dad.
There you go. Thank you.
Woo!
Yeah.
Hit me, dude.
Yeah.
Like, smacked me in the face when she said that. Because he played with the kids, danced with them. Like, he was a completely different character around these kids than he was with the Guardians.
Him knowing their language was hilarious.
Yes.
That was
so
great. When you started talking and they were like, dude!
Yeah.
And he goes, well, you didn't ask. Just, Drax is written so funny, so well.
So, like, he's basically going to help with Nebula, like, kind of helping the kids and everything, which is awesome. Then Groot, and I learned why this happened. You guys probably already know. Basically, obviously, as we've known Groot, he only says 3 words. I am Groot. However, everybody else can understand him. And just like at the end of the movie where Gamora finally understands him, we do too, because he says, I love you guys. And that wasn't just...
fully like Vin Diesel's voice too.
Yeah.
Just Vin Diesel. I love you guys.
Yeah. And, that wasn't just Groot saying that. That was actually, like, us being able to understand her. That is what, like, James Gunn wanted. Is like, this is full circle. You guys are now part of the Guardians of the Galaxy. You guys now understand what Groot says.
I will say, I hate to burst this bubble. That was not James Gunn's intention.
What, really? Was it?
Yeah, because I saw James Gunn on Twitter, that somebody was like, I have a theory that I think we all know what Groot was saying because we've been around the characters and now we can just understand Groot. And like James Gunn responded, was like, that's a good theory. And just like exclamation point, that's a good theory. And so like, I love that theory.
Yeah.
It's a great theory, but I don't think that was his intention. I think maybe he'll roll with it now that people on Twitter and TikTok are going with that. But yeah, I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
And like, not
are
to
we
burst
getting
the
into
bubble.
theories here? Because
Go for
I
it.
want to. Okay.
Shoot.
So, have you heard about the Nova theory?
No. Okay. Before you get to that, I wanted to point out too. No one dies. Everybody separates. We already talked about that. We do get new Guardians, like we talked about.
Yes.
But Nova is nowhere in this movie, which pisses me off. Hold on.
Yeah.
But we do get Phyla.
Yeah.
What's the girl's name? Phyla something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm a casual.
And it's okay. I don't.
Novella or something like that.
Yeah. And then we do get Adam Warlock to join the Guardians of the Galaxy, like we talked about, but not Nova. I literally put New Guardians, but not Nova. Adam, not Nova. Shoot your theory, because I want to know.
This won't explain why he maybe wasn't in the recent movie, but this can explain how Nova can be brought into the MCU.
I'm all ears.
Yeah.
Another one of Ego's sons.
I texted you guys that.
Were you talking about that?
Yes.
I heard
texted
it
the
all
group
over.
chat.
Well, maybe we did, but I also heard it all over like social media, where it's just like maybe you did also talk about it.
I sent a huge message on the group chat at like 2 a.m. one day because I was up thinking about
See, I don't
it.
even remember this text. That's probably why I didn't see it, because it was 2 a.m.
Yeah, I'm trying to think too. It's kind of like a fever dream. Like,
Basically, the theory I had, this is what I texted, was...
I swear I saw it somewhere else.
Because I was watching Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 in preparation for this movie, and I was like... Because he went and mated with Ego mated with a bunch of people throughout the galaxy. What if he mated with some lady on the planet where the Nova Corps people are? I can't remember the name at the moment. And basically, Nova has a celestial power, but obviously Ego didn't go looking for him because 1, he found Peter, and 2, he's dead.
Okay, but... Okay,
So
go on.
basically, no, not saying it's Sam Alexander from Earth, but saying that it's the first ever Nova to ever have the power. I can't remember his name for the life of me for some reason. Not Sam Alexander's father either, but the guy before him who joined the Avengers, being Ego's son. That's the theory I said. So.
It's not a bad theory, and I think that's a
I
good way
can see
to
why there are
put it.
holes in it. I was gonna say in the beginning,
But as somebody who also watched Guardians 2 before seeing Guardians 3, Quill doesn't have his powers because Ego died.
exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's
the one.
yeah.
That's
That
a
was the
potential plot
one
hole.
thing that was stopping me from thinking the rest.
Right.
Which is one of the only things that I really don't like that James Gunn did. I kind of wish...
I really wish he still kind of...
I really wish Quill had powers, and I think that's obviously kind of like a little cop-out answer. Everybody should have powers.
Yeah.
You're a freaking superhero. You should have powers. But, like, I think it would have been a cool twist to that movie to where Ego says, you can't kill me because you'll lose your powers. I think it would have been a cool tie-in if he just said that, so Quill wouldn't actually kill him. But then when Quill does kill him, he finds out he still has his powers.
And then they disappear. And that was the thing, too, is like, I felt like if they had kept the powers, it would have put Quill at the top of the list of the Guardians.
Then that would have been like, oh,
and then
he can be a
he
forefront
is the
Avenger.
leader. You know, Avenger, just like, he can take on big, bad guys right now and stuff. Big villains.
He'll go to toe-to-toe with Adam Warlock.
Adam Warlock, if they brought in Galactus down the line.
Right.
You know, just like a lot of different things.
See, and one thing, too, about Guardians of the Galaxy, we touched on this before we recorded, but basically Star-Lord didn't have his rocket boots, and he also didn't have his helmet. I could have dealt without his helmet, his mask, but the rocket boots, man. Like, dude floated out into space to grab the Zoom to give to Rocket, and he didn't think,
No,
crap, I wish I had my rocket boots.
His mask was destroyed, though. His mask was destroyed in the second one. Quill's.
Oh, it was, huh?
It was destroyed in the second one. And then even James Gunn said something about how... Because...
In the second one, no, because he had it in Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah, but that was not what James Gunn planned. Because he said it got destroyed in the second one. And, like, James Gunn has said this. I don't remember if he said it, like, on Twitter or, like, in an interview, but he said it got destroyed in the second Guardians of the Galaxy, and then all of a sudden he had it in Infinity War. Like, that is straight from James Gunn. So the way James Gunn intended is that it got destroyed in the second one, and he never got it back. But then, no shade to the Russo brothers, but when Infinity War and Endgame came out, I guess they just missed that it got destroyed because he had it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But that's not how James Gunn intended.
That is interesting.
Okay.
I've heard another very small, kind of fun theory, is that one of the subjects of the High Evolutionary could be Meek from Meek and Korg.
Okay. I can see that.
Like, kind of a fun one,
Yeah.
you know? But I actually think that's a pretty cool theory.
Yeah.
You know, I could see it.
Oh, I forgot to talk about the Eye Evolutionary as well. His face is a mask because Rocket rips his face off.
Yes.
That's
breaking
true.
out of that
Which
jail.
was cool. I think it was Gamora, right? That was kind
Yeah.
of like peeling, and she's like, "What is this?"
Oh no, she didn't even hesitate. She just
Yeah.
and everybody was like, "What are you doing?"
She takes that first like strand of skin, and she kind of just what the, and then she just rips it
Yeah.
off, and then It's just like a skeleton almost.
Yeah.
Which that's why I'm afraid of monkeys, because when I was younger, and shout out to my dad for this, we watched a movie where people would have exotic pets as animals, and a chimpanzee ripped a guy's face off.
Ooh, fun.
So that was
It
like
a movie.
it was a show.
Zoo.
I think that's what it was.
I think that's
Yeah. So basically, that frightened me from that ever happening,
Yeah.
and then boom, there's my nightmare on the big screen with a raccoon ripping somebody's face off.
Yeah,
And
that
I
was
love raccoons,
crazy.
and now I'm never going to go near one because I don't want my face to be ripped off.
Yeah, it was crazy.
But so post-credit scenes.
Mm.
Let's get into those. The first post-credit scene. It's been a couple days, so
Is the new Guardians of the Galaxy.
thank you. Okay, it was. So basically, it's Rocket, Cracklin,
King Groot now,
King Groot,
King Groot.
who looks awesome.
dude, super awesome.
Yeah.
Kraglin, which we see him actually grasp the arrow,
Finally gets it.
like the powers he has, so good. Throughout the movie, it's honestly hilarious.
Yeah.
Especially him and Cosmo. We see Cosmo a lot in this movie.
Love it.
And I love the ongoing joke about how Cosmo was a bad dog. Like
Yeah,
that
it's a good one.
Yeah.
offended Cosmo.
Even Cosmo had a
Core.
perfect ending.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
the scene where Cosmo was like, or Kraglin says, yeah, and she's a good dog. And then she takes those two big, huge pieces of cement and smushes that.
That was awesome.
Dude, honestly, all the characters in this movie
All the tie-ins were great. Like you said, Chad,
Mhm.
everything kind of just wrapped up.
Mhm.
But keep going about
But yeah,
the new
so
Avengers, Guardians.
New Guardians is Rocket, King Groot, Kraglin. Was Cosmo there?
I don't know if Cosmo was
I
there.
didn't see Cosmo there.
Cosmo was there.
Cosmo was
Yep.
there.
Okay.
Adam Warlock, and then the
And
girl
then
we're talking
I'm
about.
blanking on her name, but it's like Phyla.
Yeah, Philo something.
Phyla
Mhm.
Lavelle or something like that.
Yeah. So basically, those are your new Guardians of the Galaxy, obviously ran by Rocket.
Which mirrors the old Guardians,
Mhm.
because it's like if you look at the leader, Quill, now Rocket, a guy that mainly uses weapons, doesn't
Yeah.
have powers, anything like that. Everybody around him has some sort of ability.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Kraglin with the arrow. Phyla is supposed to be kind of like a Captain Marvel type.
Mhm.
Young, but kind of like Captain Marvel-esque powers.
Which I'm wondering if we'll see her in the Marvels. I was wondering that when
I
finished
wouldn't
off.
mind that.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be weird. There's a lot of things I gotta say.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool how it mirrored the old Guardians, where it's like the leader is kind of just a regular person.
Mhm.
Obviously, it's a raccoon, but you
Yeah.
know what I mean.
Mhm.
Nobody doesn't have powers, just pretty much uses weapons, and then everybody else around has some sort of ability.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think it's funny too. They're literally talking about their favorite music. And then there's everybody around them screaming as they're playing songs and stuff. And
Yeah.
they're like, oh, well, I think we got to go and kill some things. And
These weird deer.
so funny. You know. Then we got second post-credit scene. And this one,
Hit me right here.
woo! The end of the movie finishes with Peter Quill going to Earth. His grandpa is still alive. Great family reunion. I mean, it just, yeah, like you said, just
Mhm.
woo.
Which, for anybody who just recently saw Guardians 2, did you see his grandpa?
In Guardians 2?
In Guardians 2, the scene where Ego starts like unleashing that weird blue thing on all the planets and it's like spreading like wildfire. Do you remember when it shows the clip from Earth and it's like half tipping over a car?
Mm-hmm.
His grandpa's driving the car.
Is that his
Ooh.
grandpa?
I was watching
Oh,
Guardians and I'm
no
like,
way.
it's hard. It's hard to look at.
Mhm.
It's quick. It really looks like him. It
Interesting.
really does look like him.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they did that. So.
Yeah, James Gunn probably would. But basically, the last post-credit scene is Star-Lord just with his grandpa, just
Mhm.
eating Cheerios or
And he's
cereal.
reading the newspaper.
Yeah.
Yep.
You see what's on the newspaper?
You got to remind me. It's been a few days.
On the I don't remember it word for word, but it says Kevin Bacon tells all,
Yeah. Yep.
or Bacon tells all about alien abduction, something like that. And it's
Yeah.
just great, funny tie-in.
Yeah.
Yeah, but basically, there's nothing special with it. They're just talking about mowing the lawn and stuff like that, like just regular stuff. Except for the giant letters that come on screen after that clip that says Star Lord
The
will
legendary Star Lord.
the legendary Star Lord will return.
Yeah.
He's
Which
coming
is
back.
Great, because I love Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
It's hard
Yeah.
it's hard to hate Chris Pratt, but it's like, how are we gonna just not have Warlock come back?
Mhm.
I get it if they're done with Rocket and Groot. Truthfully,
Yeah.
I would like to see Groot return now
Drax
that he's King
obviously
Groot.
is.
Drax done, Mantis done, Nebula, Gamora done.
Mhm.
Would like to see Groot come back because now he's King Groot.
Yeah.
I'm okay if we don't
Here's-
see Rocket again because I feel like that really
I'm fine
tied
if
in his
Rocket's
character.
kind of like he's on edge now. He's like, all right, I think I'm done.
Well, here's the thing about Rocket Raccoon is the fact that we literally got his origin. And like we
Yep.
talked about with Shazam, you don't... And also, not only that, but he also called himself Rocket Raccoon.
Great scene.
Yep.
Great scene. You don't do those things unless it's... by the way, you're going to see a lot more of this character. And in fact, when the Guardians of the Galaxy do come into any Avengers-type comics, it's not all of them.
Like, what does Quill do, truthfully? But tying back to, like, that he doesn't have powers now?
Mm-hmm.
What is his purpose?
Right.
The only thing that I'm kind of like is that he went toe to toe with Doctor Strange, Iron Man, and Peter in
Yeah.
Infinity War. Like he really did go toe to toe with a bunch of them, and so that's like it's cool to see. But eventually, as the game progresses, they're gonna get more and more strong, and he's gonna be the same. You know,
Right.
unless more happens with him.
So I'm definitely thinking that in the future, we're going to see Star-Lord, obviously. I think Rocket, Groot, and Adam Warlock will come back. I think those four we're going to see.
And Phyla as well.
Phyla, yeah.
I think Phyla, because
Cosmo.
she was pretty big in the comics.
Yeah.
Which is another reason why I'm mad at myself for not remembering the name entirely. But I think Phyla will make a return.
Yeah. So definitely those five for sure we'll see. Because again,
Cosmo will be back.
Cosmo will be back
Yeah.
for sure. Because Cosmo's a good dog.
Yeah.
You guys got
We
anything?
can talk a lot.
We can, yeah.
We can talk a lot.
But is there anything else we have to add to the Guardians of the Galaxy? I mean,
Yeah.
That kind of wraps it up for me. There's plenty in here,
Mhm.
but this video is long enough.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I have a lot to edit now.
And
Thanks, guys.
this movie was just if I could go higher than 5, I would. 5 out of 5.
Yep.
It was so good.
I'm
It
going
was
6
really-
out of 5.
Yeah. It's,
Yeah, as James Gunn would say, F it, 6 out of 5.
6 out of 5. That is our final rating for this.
Great cast, great movie.
So good.
Hard to top.
Super hard to top.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I felt the joy of going to a Marvel movie again.
I have-
100%.
The last,
Yep.
okay, look, I get No Way Home was super nostalgic.
Mm-hmm.
It was okay.
Mhm.
Overall, I think it was okay. Thor Love and Thunder sucked.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness had so much potential to be great and was just very okay.
Yeah.
And I thought Shang-Chi was really good. Shang-Chi was one of my
Shang-Chi
favorite
was-
post-Endgame.
That one was honestly one
It-
that I was like, Marvel movie,
Yeah.
100%.
But like most of the project, even like some of the TV shows, but like most of the projects, the first like 10 or so years of Marvel, 10-ish, you go into the theater and you're like, man, I'm about to see maybe the best movie of the year.
Mm-hmm.
100%.
And we got that once or twice a year.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like they're cranking out stuff a little too fast.
Yep.
And then the last few projects outside of, like I said, Shang-Chi and Guardians of the Galaxy was like, I hope this is good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I get that. 100%.
It's weird thinking, this was me personally, but the last movie that genuinely made me cry was 5 years ago.
yeah.
And this brought me back to that 5 years ago when I first lost those characters in the Guardians, and I was like, no, but this time it's like I'm not losing them. They're just like, they finally have that happy ending.
I think
that's
what
a
it was,
Marvel
it
movie
wasn't
for me.
necessarily sad tears that made me cry through this, but like you're
It was
saying,
happy.
the happy
Like,
ending tears, you know.
I had some sad tears when I,
I
thought
yeah,
Rocket
I
was
had
going to die.
very, very high expectations that somebody was gonna die,
yeah.
and that completely threw me off.
Mhm.
I was genuinely thinking someone was dead. So,
Yeah.
kudos to showing that you can make an amazing movie without having to kill someone off.
Especially when it's like an end-all, be-all kind of movie.
Mhm.
Like, we're not going to see a lot of these characters. That's why I was starting to tear up at the end, because I'm like, not going to see Drax, not going to see Mantis, probably no more Gamora, Nebula, maybe no more Rocket and Groot.
Mm.
Like, the only confirmation we got was that we're definitely going to see Quill again.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, nothing else.
I
It's
have
good.
no more to say. I've already talked so much.
Yeah, keep going. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's so good. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you follow us on our social medias. Social. Shisho.
Happens. I get it.
Follow our social medias. Did I do it again?
Social medias.
Social media.
Follow those things.
Yep.
Yeah, like and subscribe. That's one.
Comment your favorite, person.
Comment your favorite F-bomb used in a movie.
Yeah. Is it Samuel L. Jackson or not? Honestly, I thought he should have had one in Star Wars too. What I want in the comments, comment what scene made you sad. Like, I want to know, what scene was that scene for you that was like, oh my gosh, like just hit you and
Yeah.
just, yeah. I want to know.
Go for it.
Yeah. But other than that, thanks for geeking out with us.